Sunday, October the 20th, marked the end of the summer season for this year on Newcastle Island, the provincial park located in Nanaimo's harbour. The first full season of rejuvenation saw 50,000 visits being recorded, both by ferry from downtown Nanaimo and by visiting private pleasure boaters. The history of Newcastle Island goes back many decades. There was fishing, fish processing, shipbuilding, ship repairing, and the cutting of sandstone blocks for building projects as far away as San Francisco, all conducted either on the island or nearby. Then, pre-World War II residents of this area remember the picnics and the concerts, the dancing on the spring-loaded floor of the pavilion, and Sunday outings and other festive occasions. That was the beginning of the big band era. Dal Richards brought his orchestra from Vancouver, along with the thousands of holidayers traveling on the Canadian Pacific steamships that docked at the island, and Dal was back on Sunday to relive the memories and lay plans for creating new ones next year. Stay with us as Shaw Cable cameras bring you the highlights of the ceremonies on Sunday, along with the remarks of the assembled dignitaries and scenes from the dance floor that were reminiscent of bygone days. And let's look forward by all means with great anticipation to next year's activities, as the staff works together throughout the winter to put together an entertainment package for 1986 that will be the talk of the town and perhaps the nation.
Just briefly, I guess a few years ago, we decided to try and do something about restoring, renovating this pavilion and make it sure that it remains for the future, for all of posterity. And that was done in conjunction with my ministry, Parks Branch, and the Federal Works Grant, and a lot of local input. So that was accomplished. Then, it seems to me about a year ago, so we had a group from here that said, well, we want to use it now. We want to do a lot of programs here. And we said, well, we don't really have the staff to have all kinds of programs supervised, that sort of thing. And these people kept saying, well, let us do it. But that wasn't really the way we operated. We run our park systems, other people come and enjoy them. However, these people were convincing, and we couldn't do it. It seemed like a good idea, so we found a way to do it by contracting it out to this society, a volunteer society, that would run the pavilion here, try and run activities, make much greater use of this area. We had budgeted some money for supervision, and so that was about $17,000, so we said, well, here's the $17,000 for seed money, and this is a pilot project, let's see how it works. I'm glad we undertook that pilot project because, as I understand, it has added a lot of activities in this community. It has been a success, and I'm looking forward to it being even a greater success next year. Obviously, with Expo drawing a lot of people into the province, many visitors from abroad and other parts of Canada, I'm sure, will learn about Newcastle Island. If this committee has anything to do about it, the whole world will know about Newcastle Island. And certainly, with the cooperation with tourist promotion, with the council, the chamber, this committee, our parks branch, and I also like to take this opportunity to commend the people working in my parks branch for the work that they do, because all I do is sign the final document, they make it happen. So to that committee of volunteers and to all of the people in this community who have made this work and will make it work even better next year and perhaps set it up as a model for what can be done in other communities, I want to say thank you very much.
But again, the sign says it all back there. It says, thank you, Nanaimo. This pavilion has served people very well over the last little while. I hope it continues to serve us very, very well in the years and decades to come. On behalf of the Government of Canada, I salute you and congratulate you here today. Thank you.
It must give you a great deal of pleasure to be on Newcastle this afternoon despite the weather. What do you see as the potential future of this establishment?
Well, you know, the way I think of it, if you could look at a San Francisco or another city like that had this kind of a facility, just a hop, skip, and a jump away, it would make a heck of a lot of difference tourism-wise. And that's what Newcastle is. It's a little Garden of Eden in the midst of a city like Nanaimo, and that's where the future is going to be. A short ferry hop and a place to bring the family and relax and picnic. It's almost ideal, and I'm very happy it's been preserved this way.
Do you suppose that the restraint and recession and so on may have contributed to the memories and the success of an operation such as this, sort of taking you back to when you couldn't afford to go too far?
Well, that's a very good way of looking at it, Leith. I hadn't thought of it that way. As you know, I'm too young to remember that back that far. Perhaps you can go back to 1906 or 1910.
Thanks a lot.
Well, whatever. You can go back farther than I can, and I appreciate that point of view. Very true. That when times are tough, we tend to look inward and look back.
And also to congregate more and create our own entertainment.
There's nothing wrong with that, and that's where I see the best value for federal dollars and provincial dollars. If you can spur on this kind of a project, it's something that grows and stays with us.
Now, with Dal Richards agreeing to come over here and the completion of the Coast Bastion Inn, we should be able to meld the two together and make a great convention center.
This, in a matter of months, is going to be a heck of a harbor, and a very busy harbor during Islands 86 as well, tying in with Expo 86, the new seaplane terminal, the new hotel, this facility here. When Dal Richards is here, will you put me at the top of your dance card, Leith? Is that possible?
I don't know whether I want to dance with you or not, Schellenberg.
Maybe I better bring Katie. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ted Schellenberg, MP for Nanaimo, Alberta.
As the mayor and here representing our city council, I am a very proud person today, as everybody in Nanaimo should be, to see that this island is now getting some use and will get even further use by those who otherwise may not have been able to get here. I think an island like this, such a beautiful forest, such a natural environment, should be available and accessible to everybody. And I'm talking about young people, I'm talking about parents with young children, I'm talking about seniors. All those who previously may not have been able to get here can now come over and spend a delightful day, winter or summer, on this beautiful parkland. So I want to thank sincerely everybody who has put so much work into it, and I'd ask everybody here today to go out and tell more people about Newcastle Island. It's our land, and it's for us to use in the best way possible. And I once again thank Jim, thank Gordon, and all those who are working so hard to make it an even better place to enjoy. Thank you very, very much.
I don't want to dwell too much in the past because there's so much of now about this event that's taking place this year and last year and in years to come here at Newcastle. But I do have some great memories of boat trips from Vancouver to Newcastle and return and playing here. And it was an event. It was very exciting to get aboard the Princess Joan and sail to Newcastle, play at this pavilion in those days, and then return. And of course, we always came on deck. I see some gentlemen and ladies in the audience who maybe have long memories about this, and we'd play Aloha as we sailed back to Vancouver. When the big bands were playing and there was togetherness in the dancing, and it was a matter of a dip in your hip and pep in your step and a slide in your glide, you know? You remember those kind of dances? That's what we'll be doing next summer, and hopefully we'll see you here at that time. It's been a pleasure today to be part of these celebrations and these activities and this wonderful program that has been embarked on. And I thank you for inviting me, and we invite you to join us with a big band sound when we return next summer. Thank you.
Well, it must give you a great deal of pleasure to return to the scene of the 1939 crime and so on, and relive it once again to some extent.
To some extent, it's true. We're looking forward really to coming back next summer with the entire band, the big band, and our big band sound, because, as you well know, the resurgence of the big bands has been very imminent, and we're grateful to be a part of it. So I'm planning, and ideally we'll come on Sunday morning and play an afternoon tea dance, those old-fashioned tea dances, for heaven's sake, which are enjoying a rebirth and popularity all over North America. And we'll be part of that, and we're looking forward to it as part of this total rejuvenation that's occurring here in Newcastle Island.
Now, of course, you'll intersperse some nice, dreamy foxtrots and waltzes in with the big band swing.
Well, there's always those people who, well, you know, a lot of people are going to dance schools these days, and they learn those dances. They learn the foxtrot, they learn the waltz, and they learn the cha-cha-cha, and they don't mind telling me when they come to the bandstand and make those requests. So we'll certainly be playing those as features.
Dal Richards, when are you going to retire?
Why should I retire? I just got started again for the second time around. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
It's possibly taken 10, 15 years off of your age just to even to think about getting back into the same
time. 39, you got it. Yeah. You're right.
The Coast Bastion Inn won't do you any harm either, our new big hotel in conjunction with Newcastle Island.
I just had a tour by the executive assistant manager this morning when we came in, and that's a gorgeous hotel. That's a lovely, quality hotel, no question. That hotel, I don't want to say this is a small community, but you know, it would stand as a first-rate hotel anywhere in any city.
You'd be proud to play in it.
Proud to be a guest and play as well, whatever.
They give you a free room, they're in, eh? Anyway, does coming to Nanaimo with the band present any special problems that, other than just the distance?
No, not particularly on Sunday. We're booked on Fridays and Saturdays for months and months ahead, but Sunday is an open date, and that's ideal, and it's a nice trip, and it'll be a pleasant afternoon, I'm sure, here for the musicians as well as the guests who are here to dance.
You think those aging musicians of yours will be able to stand a Saturday night and Sunday trip to Nanaimo?
I think we got one more in them, one more time.
And of course your new vocalist, Miss Lynn McNeil, she'll be able to withstand the rigors of the ocean trip, I guess.
Well, we've all been through a lot more rigors than that, but Lynn will be with us. She's a very valuable asset to the band, as you know. She joined us about 12 months ago. Does perhaps a third of our library, or book as we call it, our musical library, and she's extremely popular everywhere we play, and she will be here because this is her home turf. This is her home area, isn't it, around here?
Dal Richards from Vancouver, and Dal, we certainly will welcome you next year and look forward very much to
looking forward to it. Thank you very much. Good.
Anytime you're feeling lonely, anytime you're feeling blue, anytime you feel downhearted, well, that's the time when my love for you is true. And anytime you're thinking about me, that's the time when I will be thinking of you. And anytime you say you want me back again, that's the time I'll come back home to you. And one that goes, there's just one place for me near you. It's like heaven to be near you. When'd you guys play, huh? Times when we're apart, I just can't face my heart. Say you'll never stray more than just a call away. If my hours could be spent near you, I'd be more than content to be near you. Make my life worthwhile by what happened actually is I didn't start to see in the first place, right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
We've got a special party gift for you from our 1930s collections of CPR brochures. I'd like to let you have that, and perhaps it could sit on your desk in Ottawa if you can find a special place for it.
Newcastle Island, 2¼ hours from Vancouver by luxurious Canadian Pacific steamships. Well, I appreciate that very much. That will go on my desk, and I still wish it was 2¼ hours from Ottawa to here. Well, I'll tell you that very much. Thank you very much, everybody.
And I think I'd like to ask Tony Brummet if he wouldn't mind stepping up here for a brief minute, if he's still hanging around. And how about Linda? Linda, can you come up as well? Where is she? We've got to have both sides in this. We're very diplomatic here at Newcastle Pavilion. This is the 1931 CPR brochure reproduction, and perhaps you might find a spot for that in Victoria.
Things must be improving. The same messages on the federal one.
And Graham, can I ask you to stand up? And as a matter of fact, you've got your choice here. I know you've got one of these ones, so perhaps maybe this is more appropriate if you've got that one.
I think it's very appropriate that the city should have the choice and not the provincial or the federal government. Thank you very much, Jim. And Jim, to you, I'd like to present you with a photograph. It says, Jim with Dal Richards at Newcastle Island. Many thanks for all you have done and are doing. Sincerely, Mayor Graham Roberts, Mayor.
And I think you all know where the last one is headed. Dal, can you step up here? Please accept this. We really appreciate your being here today, and it's been a lot of fun from our Community Appreciation Day. Thanks very much. Okay, before we wrap things up, I do have a couple of thank yous I really want to pass along. And first and foremost, that big sign up there at the back really says it all. You've made our summer. I think you deserve a round of applause for yourself, the people in Nanaimo. Thanks so much. Now, one of the pleasures I've had this summer is working with a group of people here at Newcastle that keep the place in order and keep things the way you see it and really enjoy it. And I'd like to make a special mention of Mr. Joe Gillings, who's the Strathcona District Manager for the Parks District here. He heads up a team of people, including Ron Lampart, the Aerosmith Zone Manager, Rick Rockwell, our Area Supervisor, and Becky Forrester, the Newcastle Park Supervisor. So they deserve a good round of applause. And Mr. Bob Bannard, our fun ferry operator, what do you think of him too?
Jim is the head honcho of this here Newcastle Island outfit. It must give you a great deal of satisfaction and pleasure to culminate the season with a turnout such as there's been today.
Well, I think the pleasure is certainly there. I appreciate the support of the people in Nanaimo, and I'm glad to have had the opportunity to say thank you and had such a wonderful day. It's been really fun.
What do you do between now and spring?
Well, next week I get really busy. I thought I was keeping pretty busy up this summer, but our society is presently going into a planning mode where we'll be taking a very hard look at the pavilion facilities with an eye to heating and lighting, various other facilities, sound systems, something that might make Lynn a little more comfortable at the microphone. These things have to be looked at and have very good people to analyze them, come in, and also exact costs and these type of things. And that'll take us through a lot of the fall season, and then hopefully if our planning goes well, we'll be able to go into the implementation of our planning.
You must be happy that Dal Richards is an ardent supporter now and he's ready to come with the band on a moment's notice.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did hear him say that he's going to be back playing the pavilion next summer, and I'm very happy to hear that. Dal's been a favorite of mine ever since the days I watched Willie Fleming and Joe Cap connect together on the field of Empire Stadium, and I really appreciate having him out today.
And to Dal, it means a certain amount too, coming back to the scene, and after 46 years or something like that.
That's right. A real triumph in return.
And Newcastle next summer then will feature a lot more things than it did this year.
Well, we're hoping to have a full schedule next year of Saturday night dances featuring the big band sound, and of course music on Sundays as we had this past year. It's contingent on a few things. I hesitate to say that it's cast in concrete at this point in time. However, all indications are that the support we've had from the city, the people of Nanaimo, the provincial government, Parks Branch, and the federal government in their support, I can't see any reason why we can't continue to make this Nanaimo's #1 tourist attraction.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leith.
These have been scenes from the season's closing ceremonies on Newcastle Island, our own provincial park, recorded by the staff of Shaw Cable 10. I don't know about you, but I'll be looking forward to 1986, perhaps standing on Nanaimo's shoreline and hearing Dal Richards' theme across the water under a summer moon in the peaceful surroundings of the city we all love. I'm Leith Boulter.